Hey, my KW family. Hey, happy April, best month of the year, just for those of you that know. Three quick things to go over in my video this week, or this month, I'm sorry. Happy April. First and foremost, the CCP, or the Clear Cooperation Policy. I think you guys have, hopefully you've seen emails about that, changes that are coming and all of that. Really what I really want to talk about with that is the Clear Cooperation Policy is the kind of that policy that governs our coming soon stuff right now. It's not just coming soon, but I'm just giving you an example. The Clear Cooperation Policy is something that we all should look up and understand. I'm not going to do a video on all of the policies, things that are in there, but look it up because we do have a big policy change coming up, and it has to deal with the coming soon, and it has to deal with what your sellers might be able to do with their listing should they not want to go live on the MLS fully. I'm going to send out a graphic, if it already hasn't been sent out to you guys through email, about what these proposed policy changes look like. It's a graphic straight from NAR's website. So if you haven't seen the email come out yet, I'm going to get that over to Karen. You might already have it before this video gets out, but I'm going to share that with you guys. Look at that graphic, take it with a grain of salt, and understand that the MLSs will be working towards that policy change well into the summer and into the fall. So more to come on that as things roll out. Second, with our MLS, compensation, or I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Concessions. I just found two announcements through Iris and RE Colorado, and I want to make sure I slow down and get these right. I'm getting a couple of different inquiries about what's going on with concessions. I didn't mean to say compensation. Concessions in those entities. And so the one thing I do know is that in RE Colorado, so if you're an RE Colorado user, you can only add concessions to the listing after it closes. So after it closes and you balance out what it sold for, maybe what the buyer's loan type was, all of those things, you're going to have a concessions itemized drop-down menu, if you will, to explain whether those concessions went towards the buyer for closing costs or whether they went towards the buyer for compensation. So that's RE Colorado, and that's only after the property has closed. The hard part is that Iris is doing something with concessions, and they're doing it up front. And so with Iris, from what I read just a couple days ago, is that Iris will allow us listing agents to put an offer of concession into the listing. So no longer will they ban wording such as $5,000 carpet allowance or $15,000 seller concession to help with rate buy down. I'm sure there's going to be some language that's not allowed, but they are opening that language back up to allow for concessions, not compensation, concessions to be advertised. Last but not least, I've already taken up too much of your time. We had an agent call. I'm not going to call him out right now. He didn't do anything wrong. I just don't know if he wants to be mentioned. But anyways, we had an agent call and talk to me about a settlement statement that his buyer was having kind of come out. And he started explaining a few charges that was on the settlement statement that sounded very indicative of what we normally see. But after kind of thinking through some of these line items, he ended up calling the title company, asking them to go line by line with him through his buyer's settlement statement. And lo and behold, his buyer was this close to being charged almost $600 plus to close on that property with that title company. Now, I don't know the title company. I'm not going to get that far involved with it. But what I'm here to tell you is that the seller is the one who contracts with the title company. And so I would imagine that the seller's settlement statements are probably pretty well buttoned up because they want that repeat business from their listing agents. But that does not to say that on the listing side you shouldn't look through their settlement statement. We should all be looking through our settlement statements. But more than anything, my eyes were very opened at this, that they were charging things like outside notary fees and some other miscellaneous fees that particular situation didn't call for. And so anyways, our agent called the title company, inquired, come from contribution when you're challenging people, and was able to basically have a couple of different line items knocked off because they didn't pertain to that particular deal. And so if they don't pertain to that particular deal, why are your clients being charged? So anyway, $600 savings right there for his buyer. I'm sure it was a huge win with his buyer and with him, but it was this close to going through, and the buyer probably would have known none the wiser. So take a look at your settlement statements. Make sure you're always doing that. That is part of our license duty to understand and interpret. If you don't understand a line item, give that respective person a call, the title company, the lender, possibly the other side if there's an issue with concessions coming from the selling side. Anyways, happy April, and get back to it. Take care. Later.